What is a project justification?
Although some projects are done by direct order, most of the projects that we will be involved with will have a justification. The most credible justification is one where the identified benefits of doing the project are greater than the cost of doing the project. It is important to understand that there are many ways of describing the cost-benefit ratio for a project in order to justify it. Using monetary value is just one approach that does not have to be forced over all projects. Many of you have been faced with the problem of making a justification to company top management to carry out corporate training for your department staff, or of the importance of introducing a new product line to your company's production cycle. These are good examples of internal company projects that would be justified with more qualitative results, such as increasing motivation and productivity, the ability to enter newly grown markets, or other results where monetary numbers could be difficult to develop or forecast. In this case, one thing that should not be done is falsifying data by developing figures that have no real value. Instead, develop tangible qualitative results with measurable indicators to monitor and link these results to some business opportunity for your company or some problem the project might help to attack. Doing that, it is important to remember that we are describing a problem or an opportunity and not a solution. In other words, we can explain a project justification as a description of what will happen if the project is carried out and what will happen if the project is not carried out. For example, our company decides to decorate its office space with modern art. This project could cost $100,000. The benefit the company would receive by doing this is pretty intangible, but it is reasonable to say that customers coming through our lobby will be impressed, we hope, by the artwork and might be more favorably disposed toward buying something from us. If we try to justify our project that way, our boss will probably think there are cheaper ways of impressing the customer. However, there is another aspect. If our lobby is a complete eyesore, we may impress some of our customers unfavorably. There is probably evidence that we have indeed lost some business. This may serve as a good initial justification for a project even without any figures about our potential profits. Of course, justifications using intangibles are generally more difficult to get approved, especially if project funds are scarce and require more talent on the part of the project manager in developing really persuasive descriptions of the disadvantage the company will suffer if the project is not carried out. On the other hand, there are many cases when the monetary benefits for the project can actually be measured. In that case, it is of course important that such justification be made for the project. In most companies there is no lack of favorable projects, there is usually just not enough money or resources to do them. Monetary justification allows us to rank the possible projects with the most favorable projects at the top and the least favorable ones at the bottom. The company can then go down the list doing as many projects as the company's funds allow. Let us digress a bit. A discussion about where companies get their money is in order. Obviously, when a customer comes to us and offers to pay us to do a project, the benefits for us are the amount of money the customer pays us to do the project and some intangibles like providing experience so we can get more work like this in the future. Even when the customer is paying, we do not receive all of the money until all of the work is done. The company doing the project must supply the funds necessary to do at least part of the project. Where does the company get this money? The money to do projects probably does not come out of the company's cash on hand. The company probably borrows the money from a lending institution or sells some stock to investors. All the money obtained for projects has a cost associated with it. This is the money the company has to pay the lenders and investors for the use of their money. Another important factor involved here is when the money for the project is spent and received. Since we are paying for the use of the money, the longer we use it, the more it costs us. If the customer can be made to agree to advanced payment or progress payments, we will need to borrow less money for shorter periods of time, and money will be saved on the project. The justification for the project should take these things into consideration. Tell me more. There are many different justification techniques that can be used. Some of these require very little effort and produce results that are mere approximations of the justification. These are appropriate early in the project when we want to have a justification that will allow us to move to the next early step. Although the justification will consider all of the benefits and costs that are associated with the project throughout its useful life, early in the project we will be committing funds only to move the project to its next step or phase. At this point in the project, or at points in the future, we can decide to discontinue work on the project. It does not make sense to do a costly collection of estimates into the future when we are talking about committing another $5,000 to move the project to the end of the next phase.